It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
All right, hello there, South Mississippi. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you for waking up with Wesley. So we talked yesterday about some increasing rain chances, and we got some. As we take a look at this time lapse from yesterday, you can actually see in Gulfport around 5 p.m. there were a few rain showers that were seen to the west of town. Woo, look at all that rain coming down there, probably somewhere to the west of Gulfport, as this was the direction that camera was facing. So you take a look at the rain that we've seen over the last few days, and remember Monday it was so hot, right? We had an extreme heat warning. Tuesday it was also really hot. We had another extreme heat warning, but then the rain started to come down later during Tuesday p.m. Well, Wednesday, for some of you, yesterday was the wettest day of this week so far. Now, that wasn't for everyone, but as we take a closer look at Wednesday's rain map, you can see that there were places near Pearl River County and Hancock County where we picked up more than an inch, maybe even more than 2 inches of rain in some of those locations. So it was definitely a kind of Wednesday washout for places near Picayune, for example, that picked up 3 to 4 inches of rain based on radar estimations. We saw around 1 to 3 inches of rain near the Kiln, and around 1 to 3 inches of rain near Bay St. Louis, Waveland, Diamond Head as well. But not everyone saw rain yesterday afternoon. There were places that did get a little rain yesterday morning, closer to Gulf Park Estates, 1 to 2 inches of rain, as well as Ocean Springs. But there were some places in Gulfport, Biloxi that didn't get any rain at all yesterday, and I think that will continue today. So these places here that I'm circling, basically near Gulfport, Biloxi, D'Iberville, Lucedale, maybe you'll get more of the same today. We're expecting decreasing rain coverage compared to yesterday. Those are the places that actually did get rained on. You probably can get to a drier pattern heading into today. So looking out the window this morning, oh man, it was so beautiful. Did y'all see the sunrise? We watched it live on Good Morning Mississippi. But if you're just waking up, I'm happy to bring that view to you. Let's do a full screen roll of the time lapse over Biloxi this morning, showing that really lovely sunrise to start the day here on the Mississippi coast. And I gotta tell you, it feels pretty nice. This is a live view over Biloxi from the roof of the Beau Rivage. Look at that crystal clear sky. It looks so nice, and it feels nice too. Some of the temperature numbers have actually dropped compared to yesterday morning. Now, the drop right now is not that much now that the sun's up, but an hour or two ago before the sun came up, we had most of these 24-hour temperature drops greater than 5-degree difference. So at this moment in time during the 8 o'clock hour, the current temperature is sitting about 80, and it's cooler than it was yesterday morning. And if we compare to the last week, you'll actually notice that the temperature we have right now is technically a little cooler than any other morning we've seen over the last week. So that's always a good thing when you can kind of get those temperatures to come down. Now, that being said, even though the temperature came down just a smidge, it's still going to be hot this afternoon, about as hot as it was yesterday afternoon. And when you factor in all of this humidity, all of this mugginess that's in the air across much of the eastern part of the country, including where we are right on the Gulf Coast, anywhere that I've circled, you've got dew points in the mainly middle 70s, maybe even some upper 70s. So those are places where the air is really muggy, and that moisture in the air makes it feel hotter during the afternoon. So first alert, it's another day with a heat advisory on the Mississippi coast. This is either our 4th or 5th day, at least in a row, with these alerts for hot weather in South Mississippi. Fortunately, we have the advisory. We don't have the warning like our neighbors to the north have, which is a bit worse. But on the Mississippi coast, you can see that heat advisory in place. Now, let's talk about, let's lift the hood of this weather car and look into the engine and look into the nuts and bolts and pieces that make up the weather forecast. So what I'm watching as a meteorologist, we not only just look at the surface level features, but we also take a look upstairs in the air. to see what's going on. A lot of times what's happening aloft can kind of dictate and steer and determine what's happening down at the surface. And earlier this week we had this hot high pressure that was sitting basically directly on top of us, this one right here. But each day it's moved a little bit more and more to the west. Today it is mostly west of us. And there's also the western extension of the Bermuda High located to our east. And where we are right on the map is kind of a weakness in that high pressure. There's not a lot of high pressure aloft over portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. So, you know, when there's high pressure aloft, that presses down on the air and may help to limit some of the rain development. But in the absence of that high pressure, which is where we are here, it might be a little easier for rain showers to develop. Not only that, but there's actually a little swirl. If you look on the satellite and first alert radar, a counterclockwise swirl here, indicative of a weak upper disturbance. So no upper high, and you have an upper disturbance that's swirling there. Those are two things that can help rain showers to try to develop a bit more so wherever you find that circulation. So that being said, that's why we still have a chance to see some rain today. That, in addition to just our typical summertime pop-up storms, will create that chance of rain today. I will say though, if we back up just a little bit, this high here, that's over Florida, if that gets close enough to us, that could help to kind of take down some of our rain potential. So we're kind of on the edge of a low rain chance and a higher rain chance today. We're kind of on the edge of that. But I will say we kind of get away from that as we go to later this week. Look at this zone of rain and clouds up here. This is gradually moving down toward the south and east. That is a long and maybe just slightly behind actually a cool front. It's a very weak cool front. Let's see if there's any temperature difference where that frontal boundary is located. So there is. You can see behind that front, temperatures are into the 60s. So this morning it is a cool 61 in Detroit. It is a cool 61 in Bismarck, North Dakota, a cool 60 degrees in Denver. They are behind that cool front. And it would be so nice if we could get that front to go right on down, all the way down to the Gulf, and get that cooler air behind the front to come all the way down right through the Gulf Coast. And if this were like October or November, that's exactly what would happen. But it's not October or November. It's still July today, and even tomorrow, it'll still just be August. So we're a long way away from those cool fronts dramatically rolling across the coast and providing significant cool downs. One of the things that stops these cool fronts from moving through, we showed you, it's this right here. A cool front is actually an elongated area of low pressure, if you didn't know. And so as that front is sitting up here, it's going to want to come down to the south, but then it gets blocked by that high pressure ridge, especially the western extension of the Bermuda high pressure, this one right here. So that cool front won't be able to really make it all the way down here in earnest. And what's going to happen is as that front is sliding down, it's going to start to slow down and maybe even stall. So it changes from a cold front to, I drew that the wrong way, to a stationary front. And when you have a stationary front, that means it's not going to move very much. It's just going to kind of meander, stick around, stay put. And this time of year, stationary fronts can really help to kind of increase our rain chances. So that's what we're watching on the big picture. There's a cool front that is going to stall as it approaches our area from the north, and that could be the key to getting us into some higher rain chances beginning tomorrow and continuing into the upcoming weekend. So here's a look at today's forecast, still with a relatively low rain chance, 30 to 40%. It's kind of your typical summertime pop-up storms with maybe, there's competing features. You know, maybe there will be some enhancement from that weak upper disturbance to get us closer to the 40%, or maybe there will be a little bit of reduction from that western flank of the Bermuda High to get us down closer to that 30%. So you have kind of competing features for our rain chances today. Besides the fact that you just kind of have those classic typical summertime pop-up storms. But the big news, the big thing to take away from today is that at least it's not as hot as it was earlier this week when we had that extreme heat. We are not forecasting upper 90s. Today we're only forecasting lower to middle 90s. And while there might be a few spotty thunderstorms today, we mentioned that they're expecting to be better rain chances heading into the upcoming days. So here's a look at Thursday and Thursday night. Not completely rain-free. Someone might get one or two of those pop-up thunderstorms. But then you take a look at tomorrow, and we'll make this a bit bigger on your screen. You can see some scattered showers and storms at times in South Mississippi on Friday and Friday night. And you can also see a few more of them at times on Saturday and Saturday night. Notice this map for Friday shows some places actually missing out on the rain. So it is a possibility that not everyone sees rain tomorrow. It is also a possibility that maybe some folks miss out on the rain Saturday, like Socher misses it on Friday. Picayune almost kind of misses it on Saturday. But even though these could miss some places, they could also hit some places pretty hard too. You can see a yellow and orange color indicating rain amounts greater than an inch, possible over multiple counties on Friday, possible over multiple counties on Saturday. So that is kind of that potential for you as we go through the next few days. By the way, we'll take a look at the hour-by-hour timing with the futurecast for Friday. It shows kind of a quiet start to Friday. We're already seeing that frontal boundary moving in. You can tell where the front is by looking at the winds. The north winds are coming in behind the front. Then you have southwest winds rushing out ahead of the front. So if you were to analyze a front on this map, it'd probably be located right about here. So the front's already moving in on Friday morning. As it comes in from the north, you'll get a wind direction shift, and we'll see if some showers and storms develop along that frontal boundary. You don't see them developing Friday morning, but as we go to Friday afternoon, you can see them. At this point, the front is likely stalled. So if I look at the wind direction, I can kind of analyze a frontal position right about here. So the stalled front position very close to us on Friday afternoon, and that keeps those rain showers just kind of popping up across the area at times on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So don't be caught off guard by those rain chances for Friday. This continues into Saturday with that. We'll call it about a 50 to 60% chance for showers and storms. Saturday morning looks like not much, but then we get to the PM hours and we see those pop-up storms. But with that stalled front still nearby, we can still see the wind direction shift. It's very easy to tell. Look, these winds are coming in from the north right here. These winds are coming in from the south right there. And so we understand that where you have that convergence of wind is where you're going to likely find that frontal boundary setting up. So I would imagine it's located somewhere like that at some point on Saturday. So it's still located very close to us. And this means we can still expect kind of an enhancement of those daily pop-up showers and storms. Maybe most of them happen over Alabama, but you can see some of them are rotating down toward our coastline too. So again, another day, Saturday, where you do want to have an umbrella handy, as we will still see that potential for some scattered showers and storms. This is expected to continue on Sunday, and it will also be expected to continue as we head into parts of Monday as well. I think by the time we get to next Tuesday or Wednesday, that frontal boundary will begin to maybe try to break down a little bit. It won't be as easily defined, so we could maybe see a slight decrease in the rain chance by then, just to kind of your typical summertime pop-up storms. One thing that I love about the 7-day forecast is that we don't find any upper 90s, right? So even though earlier this week we had 98, earlier this week we had 99, you don't see any 98s, you don't see any 99s over the next 7 days, and that's not too shabby to say that we're ending the month of July, heading into the new month of August tomorrow, and we're not really finding like a huge influx of heat, no surge of heat, no boost of heat, no heat wave on the way within the next 7 days. Now, we know August is not a cool month, so inevitably, sometime deeper into the month of August, we are probably going to eventually get hotter again. But at least we can say the first week of August might play nicely with us, with no tropical systems and no extreme heat in coastal Mississippi. So that's good news if you have plans for the first weekend of August or for the first week of August. Things are looking okay weather-wise for us. There's not going to be any huge extremes, no extreme heat, and like I said, no tropical systems directly impacting us. I wish I could say that same thing every day next month, but it's probably going to change since we tend to get really hot in August, and we do tend to see an increase in tropical activity at some point during the month of August. So some of those things to keep in mind heading into next month. Well, that'll do it for this Thursday edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. I hope that you have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.